Okay, I got one of the most amazing downloads I have ever gotten thus far. And it's about Martin Luther and Martin Luther King Jr. So, God led me to this conversation with ChatGPT about why he made me a Lutheran. He's like, I want you to look up this guy called St. John the Cross, who was a Catholic, I don't know, priest or something at the time, of the Reformation, of the church, where it kind of like split off, and that's when Lutheranism was born, which is what I was raised in. I was raised Missouri Synod Lutheran. But my mom was raised Catholic, and I also was a CNA, and I took a lady to Catholic church, so I know like a little bit about Catholicism, but not a lot. And actually, that's who Martin Luther like split off from. So as a Lutheran, I was raised to believe that Catholics were wrong in the way that they worshiped God because they believed in saints, and they believed in like the women too, also Mary and Jesus's mother and Mary Magdalene and all that stuff, and that you could, and confessing to popes, and just, I don't know, I just was taught that that was like wrong, and that the only way like you can just like connect to God directly, which actually there is I mean, it was actually kind of quite a revelation for me to research this, because it was profound to realize like why I was raised Lutheran at this point in time, because that's part of what I'm realizing is that we're all God. So we all have a direct connection to God. And so that's why I don't know, God's like, God was like telling me like how, like Martin Luther did split off from Catholics, and then he, like took away kind of like the intermediaries between God, and that's like kind of what we do as starseeds. Like we show people that you align to God yourself through deprogramming the matrix and overcoming all the hardships that we've had to, and reconnecting back to God in our own ways, not through religion and breaking karmic cycles, generational karmic cycles of toxic behaviors, and going against the grain of society, which is very Jesus coded, which is again why I get so many messages about how the Bible distorted the part of Jesus, and that he was just one person. He wasn't. It was men and women, and it was a whole movement of people who I've been told do this for a living. Like we just do this in the galaxy. We help planets ascend to the next dimension of their planetary and biological evolution. And so we take on many species, I've been told, and that's why a lot of us we get our past lives, we get other lives, we get light language, we pull other interdimensional information, all of those things. And so it's so interesting to tie that back to Martin Luther. So back to that. St. John the Cross believed in the dark night of the soul, and all of us have gone through that as well. And so it's interesting that both those tied into this now, because Martin Luther split off from St. John the Cross. They disagreed on, the stuff that I talked about, how he like broke off from the Catholic Church for the intermediary part and things like that. And one of the things that Martin Luther really believed was that, this is kind of where I believe he got it wrong now that I learned about him, is he believed that like you can't trust yourself, you can only trust God. But there's actually duality in that, because it's like you trust in God's promises. You trust in the fact that God is going to make this right, which is what I've been talking about. He's been telling me about how he's going to make this right with his miracles and all of this stuff. Yes, we've been going through this horrible time and we have to go through this collapse, but on the other side of this, for a lot of us, it's going to feel so miraculous because we've gone through such darkness and we've experienced such hopelessness and things like that. And that's why God had the name Martin Luther King Jr. tied to who he had it tied to, because his entire movement, again, he started a movement which was on the hopes and promises of God. He had a dream. He had a dream that this society could be fair, just, and equal. And that ties into Martin Luther and how he believed that we need to believe in God's promises, but we also need to believe in ourselves. And you believe and trust more in yourself that you're aligned to God when you deprogram from the matrix. Like, that's literally what I've been learning from God. So it's like, this is all really come together. I'm like, this is like crazy. But I was like, this is incredible. This is one of the best freaking downloads I've gotten so far. I think it is the most beautiful thing in the entire world. I love that it ties back to even my life and the experiences that like I've had. And, then it lines up with like the visions that I get that we are going to have a fair, just, and equal society here very soon. That's what New Earth is, and we do that within ourselves by finding God again, by reconnecting back to empathy, compassion, love, understanding, forgiveness, all of those things. And it's not just because Jesus taught that and because that's what we should do, but it's also really, really good for our biology, our neurobiology, our nervous systems, the way we function as humans, the way we feel as humans, and it's all based on your perspective. A lot of this is just a perspective shift in how you are viewing the world right now. And then, as we all know, the Maharishi effect, if so many people do this, then that's how we shift our reality. And we're already seeing it with light workers. Like, many more people are awakening, or they're so much more open to aliens, or they're searching for answers outside of this place because it's getting so bad, or they're starting to question the people they always trusted. I mean, MAGA is having deep questioning and things like that. And so we're just seeing the last remnants of denial. That's really all this is. But I just so believe in this time, and I just, my downloads get so beautiful sometimes. I'm just like, this is incredible. Like, I can't believe they red string this to, because that's what they've been doing. They've been red stringing things together for me. And it's just so beautiful how it comes full circle. Again, like, they keep telling me how time loops are repeating, but history is not, because history can never be repeated because it's not the same souls. Because once you even incarnate on Earth, you're never the same soul that you are when you leave it. Because every time you come down here, whether you're good or bad, right? You learn massive soul lessons. And right now is like, we're in expert level, college level, learning lessons, feeling the polarity of God, feeling the creation of the world through our conscious and physical experience. The creation and the death of the world. We're in the stillness before it was created, which is this horrible time where it just feels icky and ucky, and then we're going to be in creation, what it felt like when God created the entire universe is what we're feeling. That's what we get to experience right now. So it's, I have days where it's like really hard, but then I have days where I'm like, this is so fucking beautiful. We really, and we will grasp this. And then once, good things start happening, it's going to be so much more easy to believe this stuff. It's hard. That's the challenge right now, is to believe in the good stuff. And then you're like, wow, I can't believe it's hard to believe in the good stuff. But that's because a lot of us haven't had good stuff. A lot of us have had bad stuff. And there's so much proof for me in my 3D reality and with these downloads and how it connects to my life, and it red strings and the synchronicities and the angel numbers and everything beautiful and magical about the whole spiritual path. And that it anchors, me into hope for everybody and everything on this planet. Thank God, finally. Holy shit, I thought we were going down. I get this on sugar, we're going down. I fall out, boy. Because I'm just like, for real, that's how I felt. And again, it's been hard for me to believe this, but at the same time, when I get things like this, it's like, who am I to question this at this point? I would never know this shit. Also, I just feel like I was so dumb. How did I not see this shit before? So I'm like, now I see it all of a sudden. And I'm like, I can see clearly now. The rain is gonna get that too. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. So, good days and bad days. That's what this is. Sunshine and rainbows, thunder and lightning, and it's all going to be fine. It really is. It's going to be fine, guys. We're going to be fine. We just got to stick in there. So if you're struggling, fight the mental demons. That's all it is. Or the physical, if you have ailments and things like that. You are a warrior, of Christ. Seriously. You guys have like the body shit, like for real, that he had to go through, you know. I got the asthma, you know, we're all, we're gonna get better though. They have the med beds, so don't forget, there is hope.